Anyone remember that FNAF fan game where you were placed into that purgatory full of broken and munted FNAF characters with the purple guy doing very disgusting actions? Yeah, well this ain't it, Chief. Insanity was one of those very old FNAF fan games that was made in 15 days, which was released back on Halloween of 2015. This game was one of those ones that came out during the year of early FNAF fan games. You can tell just by the title alone that this is one of those fan games that really got inspired by FNAF 4. So inspired to the point it's overly edgy. Oh yeah, and I'd like to keep in mind you might be seeing the title anniversary update underneath the title itself. That's because the game received an update which improved a few aspects of the game and added a few new things as well. I'll be discussing the changes between the old and new versions as we go along as well. So anyway, let's dive into this hellhole. So Insanity was created by Salvage, Michael V, Ferguson the Shuffler, and Black. Sorry guys, I just got sick. This of course being a group project, having one guy code the game, one guy work on the models, one guy creating the OST and sounds, and one guy writing the story. Each person who worked on this game have actually had a reputation for some of the other well-known FNAF fan games they worked on, like how Ferguson was a composer for TRTF 5. Heading into new game doesn't give you a whole lot. No cutscenes, story, or even a news article. Just heads into the night one screen with some lovely horrific music. Oh, and it just has a tendency to loop on the screen, so that's nice. Now, in the original version of the game, there was no phone calls, just text detailing you what to do. But now in the update, it has phone calls each night. No ring to the phone call though, just an instant message from the voice actor. Like, straight into the night you get the phone call, no waiting. And apparently the person calling us is our conscience. Fritz's conscience. Yes, we play as Fritz Smith in this game, the exact same one from FNAF 2 that was fired. Weird, however, since in an old teaser for this game, it states, "Where are you going, Jeremy?" which indicates how Jeremy Fitzgerald probably would have been the protagonist of Insanity earlier. Oh, and if this voice sounds familiar to you, that's because it is. The voice actor Dadat Sushi is the same person who voiced Peter, the phone guy in Dorminibus, so it's kind of this weird connection. I mean, even the puppet from Dorminibus is somehow in this game. However, that is of course from the anniversary update, by the way. Now let's get straight into it. First thing to note is the visuals. The office, I gotta say, isn't the worst I've seen. For late 2015 standards, this actually looks pretty creepy. I love how it's got this fuzzy visual style too, with how it looks in game at the models and layout. It pays well for the story, since, you know, it's in the purgatory. The cameras look okay. The hallway seems the most detailed and organized to me, and the part in the service room looks as bland as my personality. Oh, and about the models. Yeah, remember when I said this game is over the top? If you've been paying attention, you should know that that is correct. All the characters are over the top edgelords, bro. They are based off the Withered animatronics, but fused with the FNAF 4 animatronics. Do you see what I'm saying when I say this game is heavily inspired by FNAF 4? Cause it is, by a lot. It's got elements of FNAF 2 and 4. So yeah, the models aren't even great, especially Springtrap's, oh I'm sorry, Spring Bonnie's design. But bear in mind, these models were all made in 6 hours. Wait. 6 hours?! The guy took that long to make all 6 models in a day? Well, all the power to him. Also, if you're wondering what these kinds of animatronics are, like how FNAF 2 has the Withereds, the Joy Creation had the United, Dorminibus had the Havocs, Insanity has the Insanes. No joke. That's just how they're referred as. It's basically Insane Freddy, Insane Bonnie, Insane Chica, you get the idea. Except Golden Freddy, who's just referred to as Yellow Bear. Nice callback there. Is Yellow Bear any better looking than Freddy? No, of course not. Unlike Golden Freddy in FNAF 1 and 2, where he actually looks unique, even for a recolor. Oh, and who could forget the hat? The insane hat. Ever wanted Nightmare Cupcake to look more obnoxious? Just make him a hat, cause why not? So anyway, let's talk about the gameplay. Now keep in mind, this is one of those early fan games, so it's expected to be pretty simple, unlike games you see today like Playtime or Percy. But I mean, we've gotten some pretty unique mechanics over the course of 2015 still, like shutting off cameras, using multiple rooms to hide in each night, turning off the lights, so my curiosity is piqued. So the main gist is you have a battery, kind of like the one from FNAF 2, however it's like Flumpty's 2 in which it drains quickly when either using your flashlight or using your cameras. If it turns off, you have to wait for the power to turn back on after fully recharging. Now let's actually talk about the characters. So for Freddy, Bonnie, and Chica, what you have to do is, whenever you see them in front of you, you have to pull up the camera monitor and wait a few seconds until you hear them leave. Am I reading this correctly? No, that's what you have to do. Okay, a bit boring. But for Foxy, what you have to do for him is when you see him, flash your light. Great, so it's just a FNAF 2 mechanic. But hey, I mean, Spring Bonnie should be interesting. You just gotta turn off the fan. Oh, come on, guys, a bit of creativity is welcome here. Well, what about the hat? What does he do since he has a mechanic, somehow? Well, you just gotta keep your eyes on the camera. Basically, use it periodically or he'll break it. And to fix it, you reset the power. Wow, so cool. Okay, come on, Yellow Bear. Give me something. You're based on one of the creepiest hidden characters. So what do you have? Don't leave the fan off for too long or he'll kill you. What? So yeah, gameplay-wise, it's horrible. There's nothing interesting at all to these characters. And it doesn't even feel like a challenge. And yet the AI, for some reason, is all balls crazy. Nice job on making a FNAF Fangames gameplay not only boring for people to concentrate, but hard so they have to concentrate. Great job, Mr. Whitein. Now, the jump scares just suck for this game. They're trying to recreate the frames that the FNAF 2 jump scares would do, however, they just don't work. Especially how in the original version of the game, the jump scares would play, then fade into the game over screen. So you just get this really awkward frame of staring at them when they froze. Also, the jump scare noise is basically just the FNAF 2 jump scare noise. But for some reason, Spring Bonnie and Yellow Bear have a jump scare noise that just sounds like a train going off the tracks and ran through a metal gate. Speaking of Yellow Bear, yes, he has a little jingle that plays when he's about to kill you, just like Freddy does. If you're wondering if it sounds familiar, that's because I'm pretty sure it is. This jingle was based off an old classical piece by Mozart called Ronaldo alla Turca. If you listen closely to both, you can tell this creepy jingle is based off that. Oh, and also, power out jump scares are worse. They look way worse than the regular ones because of how they are colored and textured. And the game over screen is just like a FNAF 2 screen. Fantastic. Now, when you finally beat Night 5 after many fails, you unlock the ending, which is a bit hard to read right now, but don't worry, we can change that through the power of editing. And there we go. So this ending has another original song for this game with quite possibly the best name for a soundtrack. Yeah, next time your friend asks you, what's your favorite OST track? Just say it's the one from Insanity called Eh. Now, the article talks about the death of Fritz Smith, as he died in the FNAF 2 location. It states that they believe they found the killer being the janitor of the place, but decided to let him go with no evidence. Which wasn't originally what the story was. Before, it was just Fritz was knocked out and then the police found him. So to summarize this story, Fritz died, this is his hell. Now you do unlock a Night 6. I mean, it wouldn't be a FNAF fan game without it. Now the AI really sucks here. You must be on your defense at all times. It is really unforgiving here. And of course, once you beat the night, you get one of the greatest rewards. A star! Literally just another star. How amazing is that? Because it isn't, and I feel very annoyed about it just as much as you. Now, there are a few bonuses. During the nights, there's a hallucination that will flash with Cake Bear and Golden Coal on the screen, with a text in the top left corner saying yet to be, which is some reference to Dormitibus. But most of the time, the hallucination is a nuisance as it blocks out the screen so you can't see shit. And there's actually one last secret in the game, and that is Shadow Bonnie. He works the same as just regular Shadow Bonnie from FNAF 2, where he'll crash your game if stared at long enough. Now, he's a really rare Easter egg, but I was lucky enough to encounter him myself when playing the game. So basically, his full model is just Spring Bonnie with... Wait! What? What the fuck are those? The feet look like they were drawn in MS Paint, and not well. Bro looks like he's got water balloons for feet. You may think that's all there is to see for Insanity's gameplay, but you're actually wrong. There are mini-games for this game. 3 to be exact. They were all added into the game in the anniversary update. And I know what you're thinking.
No, there isn't. I've played this game many times and not once have I seen these minigames. How do you even unlock them? Well, you just got to die over and over and over again until they appear. Basically how the FNAF 2 minigames work. Yeah, this sucks. This is ridiculous! With how random it is, you might be trying this over and over and over and over again until you find them. You think I'm exaggerating, but I'm not. The minigames range from 1 out of 450 to 1 out of 500 to 1 out of 650.
I'm done.
That's so rare to even get. It's rarer than a rare steak. So yeah, I pretty much just gave up looking for them the way the game intended and resorted to asking a friend for accessing the minigames through the Click Team MFA and recording them for me. So I now present to you footage of gameplay for the 3 minigames, something that's never been shown on video up till now. This first minigame is called the Tom minigame. Tom like the cat? It shows Purple Guy standing in front of what could be a dead child's corpse, along with static in the background and a deep voice spelling out the year 1982, referencing cake bears most likely. Then the puppet slowly appears above the child and ascends to her people, and that's the minigame. Bit weird, but it's only going to get more confusing from here on, folks. The next one is called the BOA minigame. If you know Dawn Minibus, you know where this is going. It's basically a rip from the Give Gifts, Give Life minigame of FNAF 2. The word being spelled out here is Mammy Sesta, which in short is Latin for mother. Because Mummy Sock Puppet gives all the good gifts to her adopted children. Then there's this guy who just disappears after they give their lives, and the BOA is in the middle, and the minigame ends, just like that. Well, I'm sure it's only going to get better from here. The final one is called the Crawl Space minigame. It shows what I believe is Cake Bear on the ground in the parts and service room. He wakes up to look around, Purple Guy walks in and sees him, he doesn't do anything but laughs at him as he dies in the suit. This is what I believe we're seeing here is the death of Fritz, the protagonist of this game, where he dies in Cake Bear, and so thus began this shithole of a game. Overall, weird minigames, but hey, it's something interesting. But it certainly isn't worth dying over and over just to get them. And now we have the extras. They look... Well, I'll be honest, this is the worst UI I've ever seen for an extras. Why are the models placed at the bottom? They don't even have enough room to be shown properly. Candy's had the animatronics displayed well, so why couldn't you do that, Insanity? The jump scare previews are also in the same position like this. Seriously? That's such a waste! And for some reason, the jump scares don't play well. They just cut out frames sometimes, which makes it awkward as hell. How in the heck can you seriously mess up an extras menu like that? One of the easiest things to make in a FNAF fan game. Even Fnatty had a better extras menu than this. So of course there's a custom night, and the UI for it looks really bad too. The character profiles have awkward positioning, and the eye just makes it sound like this is some new Apple product. Introducing the iFreddy, the latest in animatronic technology. With the iFreddy, it does what every animatronic does but better. Screams like a little baby. Now strangely, the AI only goes up to 15, which is weird, but then again, if you suffered through a max mode like that many times, you'd be grateful too it was only 15. This is one of those games with high RNG for its custom night, so play at your own risk if you want to torture yourself. Also, there's a Freddy plush. Now once you beat custom night, you get this cutscene which says, perhaps some things are best left forgotten for now, showing the box from FNAF 4, basically a mock-up from the FNAF 4 scene. Except the box doesn't have locks on it, meaning you could have potentially opened it, but you can't. Also, another thing to mention, you can unlock this final cutscene by just beating custom night in any way. You don't need to beat max mode, you just need to play it with any level and you get it. So that was Insanity. In the end, this game seemed like it could have been a unique idea, seeing nightmares in a Freddy's location. But it comes off as just a bit rushed and unpolished, which makes sense for this game since it was made in 15 days. But hey, at least it helped pave the way for much better FNAF 4 inspired fan games. Never mind.